Right now, I think Casio have a big problem, and it's time we properly talked about it. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today, I guess it's a little bit of a rant. I've been a little bit annoyed this morning because for some reason the studio doors don't open, so I haven't been able to film in there, but it's all right. We're making the most of a bad situation, and I've decided to have a nice little stroll, get some lovely fresh air, and talk to you about a little Casio problem we've got. I have to tell you about today's sponsor, who are HelloFresh. Now listen, in an ideal world, you and I would like to eat healthily, you know? Cooked meals using fresh ingredients with easy to follow recipes. However, thinking of meals to cook for the family every single day of every single week is flipping hard work. Well, with HelloFresh, the hard work is taken care of. They offer a meal kit service that delivers step-by-step recipes with fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your door. And what's great, you get to choose from 50 different recipes a week. But my favorite part is their new Build a Plate feature. You can order a main for the family, and each individual in the family can customize their meal by choosing their own toppings. That is very good for those picky teenagers, isn't it? Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's show. Click in the description below, you'll also see a special code. Use that and you'll get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. Get on HelloFresh's website and start eating healthily simply. For anyone that's been following the channel for, I don't know, at least 2 weeks, will know that I am a huge Casio fan. I'm an 80s child, right? So digital clocks, digital screens, it's embedded in my brain. And back in the 80s, wearing a watch with a digital screen on it just was so cool. It was in TV, films, and a lot of these watches were readily available at Argos. They took care of it, you know? And so for the past, I don't know, 30 odd years, I've been buying, wearing and collecting Casios and, you know, loving them. Whenever there is a banging Casio out there, I review it and try and show it off to you. Now, the problem for me started about 2 years ago when I reviewed the LF20. It was a geek's delight, a reissue of an older 1980s model. I was a little bit miffed as they took the essence away from Casio, i.e. all the text was pulled away from the case and you were left with kind of a soulless looking multi-windowed digital watch. But that wasn't my biggest problem. No, when I came to film this watch at a 0-degree angle, the digital display looked faded. Now online there was a lot of comments going, "You must have a faulty one, MWC." Or there was the other one that was, "What kind of madman looks at their watch head on?" I've said it 100 times before, but I think the best viewing angle to view a watch is head on, you know, looking straight at your watch. Anyway, I didn't particularly love that watch and I gave it away. The faded screen problem was not just exclusive to this LF20. The more I reviewed new budget Casio watches, the more I saw these faded screens. And I was getting comments like, "Oh, but they've increased the viewing angle." Well, like I've said before, the best viewing angle for me is head on, eh? What about you? Now, throughout the last couple of years, I've had some decent ones. My DW5040, case in point, is probably the most legible digital screen I've ever owned. And we cannot not talk about the AE1500.
The dinner plate digital screen.
And the watches that I have championed massively, the GBD200 and the GBD300 with their memory in pixel display. But for me, it all came to a head last week when I reviewed the AE1600, a brand new, highly legible digital beta watch that I thought was fantastic for £30. I mean, come on, 100 meters water resistant and a 10-year battery life and a screen that would make a person with, I don't know, -10 on the eyesight scale happy. But when I was filming the watch head on, looking at the watch head on, the screen was blooming faded. Now, it seems to me that there aren't many people going on about this, but I would just really love an explanation, Casio. Why are your screens for your budget digital watches fading out when you're looking head on the watch? Because it didn't used to be like this. I've had loads of vintage Casios, from your W86 to a not so vintage W218H, a very legible screen at any angle. Now, trying to actually get an answer from Casio is like getting, I don't know, water into a mudman. It's pretty much impossible. You get directed and then redirected to someone else. I can never get in touch with the right person. But listen, I've been championing Casio watches on the channel for 5 years. I think I might have made Casio a few quid. I feel like I deserve to know why these screens are faded. And while I've got you, Casio, why the heck have you gotten rid of your electroluminescent screens? If it's just to save $1.39 on each watch, just increase the price of your watch. You can see in the comments of most of my shows, Casio, we all miss the electroluminescent screens.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
Now, with this all being said, I'm still going to buy Casio watches no matter what, aren't I? Because I feel like today, in 2025, it is a responsibility of the Mad Watch Collector to tell you what I think about Casio releases. And other watches, of course. But is there something fundamentally wrong with a digital LCD display with Casio right now? And is this issue going to finally make people move to, I don't know, Timex maybe? I don't know whether you guys are bothered about this or not, but it has certainly made me a little bit annoyed over the last couple of years. I mean, the DW5000R was such a highly anticipated watch. Even that had a faded screen head on. Now there is a new reissue that is coming out. That looks fantastic. It's not going to be massively expensive. So does that mean we're going to have a screen like the LF20W? My thoughts are yes, to be fair. But in all promotional shots of their budget watches, Casio show the watch head on and it is as clear as day. But in reality, these watches have faded screens at that position. Casio are giving us a false representation of how good their watches are. Now, even though it's been great to chat with you guys and make something good out of a problem like not getting into your studio, it does mean I'm having to, let's have a look, negotiate round puddles like this. My trainers are shot. Suppose I can give them a wash in the river next door, can't I? Yes, Casio Corner is back. And today we've got to say a big thanks to Horology of Digital. This is a tremendous shot of the BP-100, a 1990s Casio with looks of its own, and its special feature, well, it's a blood pressure monitor. Yes, Casio were doing this a long time ago, before the Apple Watch and Fitbit, and look, the screen head on. Absolutely wondrous. As usual, Horology of Digital, who give me fantastic shots throughout the month. Thank you so much for tagging me in. And if you'd like to be on the next Casio Corner, all you've got to do is find me on Instagram here and tag me in on one of your Casio posts. Because who knows, next time, the star of the show could be you. Thank you so much for listening to today's rant. And if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you click the video that's round here somewhere? It's fantastic, it really is. Don't be put off by Casio, because there are amazing watches to be had. But yeah, go on, you'll love it. You will love it. I suppose I've got to go to the car and get my crowbar out, try and get in the studio. Anyway, you take care now. All the best. And click it. Go on, click it. You'll love it. Go on, click it.